Yeah, welcome everybody to the Lazy Fries, the podcast about the paradox of seeking. This time in English because we have a very special guest, Jim Newman. Hi, welcome Jim.
Thank you. Hi.
Yeah, this is the second time because we already did this part, but I forgot to press record, so again. Yeah, for the folks who do not know Jim, you're quite a well-known speaker on the subject of non-duality. And you do a lot of Zoom meetings and residentials. You already explained that the first time, but that's like a longer, being together and talking about non-duality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for doing this interview. I have some questions from listeners. Sorry, I always say readers. Don't know why. A couple of questions from listeners. I have some myself, and maybe if it's okay with you, okay to start with an introduction on the topic, because you always do them in Zoom meetings, the ones you have published on YouTube. And what fascinates me is that the core of the message is always the same, but still it comes out differently every time. I haven't heard one who's like the other. So if it's okay with you, maybe you could do this for our listeners and introduce what non-duality is about.
Yeah. Well, it's actually what non-duality is not actually a thing. Mm-hmm. It's not a thing called non-duality. It's a description of what is as being not separate. Mm-hmm. There's an experience that appears in this, which, is easily identified as the sense of being I am, or a me, or a you. And, in the way we're talking about it, that is the experience of separation. And that experience of separation hides the not two-ness, the nature of what is as not two. And that sense of separation engenders a sense that what is, the not two-ness of everything, that what is actually has a demand, a fundamental demand that something needs to happen. There's a disquiet or a dis-ease in that sense of not two-ness, which demands that the individual go on a journey, personal journey of becoming, which fundamentally in the end is an idea that the successful life is one that fulfills meaning and purpose and finds endless happiness. That journey is doomed because the drive because the drive comes out of the illusion of the experience of separation, which gives the sense that something's missing. And in these conversations and at the meetings, what's pointed out is that illusion hides this as already complete, needlessly whole, already fulfilled, without any demand on anything, because there isn't anything separate to demand anything from.
But that for the sense of a separate self, for the me, that's a pretty shitty message, right?
In a sense, it's a shitty message. If there isn't any openness to something else, then it's just shitty. But if there's an openness to this not being simply a personal, about the person getting more, mm-hmm. then it can be a relief. Because I think for most people, in some way, I think what we're talking about here is already absolutely obvious. It's just overlooked because it can't be known. And so when that which can't be overlooked is acknowledged in some way, then there can be a relief. That sense of separation and the demand that it has can relax. And even there can be a sense of, resonance with something that can't be known. So, I guess it can work in different ways. And even in individuals, it can work both ways, I've noticed.
Yeah, would you say that the me is attracted to non-duality, or is it something else? No.
Oh, only through a misunderstanding. So, mostly the most popular, what are so-called non-dual messages, are acknowledge the individual as being real and acknowledge the idea that there is a real separation which can be bridged through a practice.
Well, good luck.
And so, in that sense, that type of non-duality, one that compromises with the idea or experience of separation, then there's something for the individual. But the way we're talking about it here, it can't actually hear anything we're saying about it because it doesn't actually acknowledge the reality of separation because there isn't any.
And I also think for the me, it's quite a terrifying message in some way because it negates everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it doesn't negate it. All it negates is the illusion that what is separate. So all the meaning and purpose and intention and idea that something needs to happen for this to be whole is pointed out as illusory.
Yeah.
But it also, doesn't negate that there is an appearance and that appearance is wholeness and fullness appearing. Doesn't negate that.
No, but it sort of destroys all hope for the me of ever finding what it's looking for. It's just
Oh, totally. But I mean, if you look at the word hope means not this.
Yeah.
It's the future. But there isn't a future. So that's what I mean, it's just such a beautiful message in that it doesn't compromise with the illusion of separation by giving it or feeding the hope which can never be fulfilled. It's a hopeless sense, it's a hopeless task to try to find fulfillment in the experience of separation. All the individual can find is satisfaction, which is temporary.
Yeah, at most. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have a statement which a friend of mine made like 10 years ago, and we didn't know about non-duality back then. And he said, "Well, I think the universe is like a formula which always equates to zero."
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
The whole thing is at equilibrium.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere. There's nothing missing. It's already complete and whole. There's no need for anything to happen. It's all, in a sense, you could say it's all simply nothing appearing.
As everything.
As everything.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have any real content. It doesn't have any real context. It's just simply an appearance for no one, for no reason, without purpose or meaning. It's just absolute freedom.
Well, I think even mathematically, if you look at the number zero, if you have a sinus wave, then let's say the trough is like -1 and the peak is +1. If it's a wave, but if you add them together, it's still zero. So there are all expressions of zero.
Yeah, totally.
And what would you say that this is? If this is what it is, what is this?
Well, if we're talking about the appearance at the moment, the appearance is a computer screen with a young man on it. And that appearance is just nothing appearing. And you can put different words on it. I mean, it's obvious that the appearance is infinite, meaning it doesn't begin anywhere or end anywhere. You could say that it's absolute, meaning it doesn't have any source. It's not coming from anything. It doesn't have any real solidity to it or fixedness to it. It's just, in a way, it's just completely wild, unfettered, energy appearing as a computer screen.
It's also completely unknowable.
And well, this so Jim's pointing at his body, at the body, knows like the word computer, and it has words and it does other things. So there's an apparent knowing that happens, but what can't be known is the totality of this, the unified reality of this, that it's not two-ness. That can't be known, but knowing appears in this.
Yeah, what I find I found it intriguing when I was studying. I studied artificial intelligence way back in the day. And there was also the notion that to know a system, you have to be able to stand outside it. But
totally.
With wholeness, that's an impossibility.
Absolutely.
But
that's how it hides from the individual. Yeah. The individual is the experience of standing outside.
And that was also like a philosophical idea that was also in the books, that it was in essence unknowable. And I find that fascinating, but still every professor and whoever, they just ignored it and just kept on telling how it is.
Totally. All the criticisms of this message I hear, they'll say, well, what they say is true, but yeah. So they ignore it. They just ignore it. Because if it's true, if there is such a thing, and it's not a thing, I know, as non-duality, well, that's just the end of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's done. It's
done. Yeah, totally. That's why to teach, you need a but in there. You need to go but.
Yeah, well, but it's more like what you say. It's if you either you resonate with this message, there's some knowing somewhere that it's true.
Yeah.
Although it's not like it can be a rational thing, but it's more than that, I guess, because
totally.
You're never going to get it anyway. So
no. Yeah. So there's either an openness or a love for the possibility of something else, or there isn't.
Yeah.
And that can come and go in individuals as well. Sometimes there might be more of an openness than other times.
Well, is it possible if the sense of separation is seen through? Because if it's really wild and unconditional, so there are no rules, that seeing through somehow unhappens?
No, not if there's, I get reports of people who seem to have some sort of insight or some sort of intimation of what this is, but it never, and then the sense for them is that the me or that sense of separation comes back. But that, as far as I'm concerned, isn't the complete disillusion of that sense of separation. It's just an insight or a glimpse of something else. But, part of that sense of separation, not all of it, but part of it is belief. So it's a belief that's held in the body. So there's a real energy, a contraction of position in the body, and out of that comes the belief that position is a personal experience.
Yeah.
And so it's not until that whole system collapses that, what is revealed for what it is. And it's not revealed to anyone. No one ever sees through duality. No one ever sees non-duality.
Right. It's the end of the sense of separation, basically.
It's, And one of the unique or curious things about the end of separation is what becomes obvious is that it never happened.
And is there like a 5 or 7-step plan to see through the You can choose how
Well,
many
as we've
steps. That doesn't matter, but I want some steps.
as we've already discussed, if there is non-duality, then every step is just part of the illusion of separation.
Yeah. So there's absolutely nothing you can do to accomplish all
No.
this. No.
Well, you know, first off, there isn't a you. And second off, how can you accomplish what is already?
Well, you can't. So
No,
no.
it is already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you speak besides this sort of interviews or your meetings? Do you speak with other people who are not? They don't express interest in non-duality. Do you bring the subject
Oh,
up?
yeah. No. If there's no question, it's funny. It just doesn't come up. It just isn't. This. So this can't reflect. Oh, I'm pointing to the body.
Yeah.
This can't reflect on what we're talking about. Doesn't know anything about it. There's nothing separate to reflect on it. So there isn't any sort of sense of there being something here known that isn't the same everywhere else. It might come up in ways if somebody starts talking about spirituality or becoming in one way or the other, in a spiritual sense, then there might be some sort of response to that. But generally,
That
there's
might
nothing
get you
to
in
say.
trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that there's a lot of concern about that.
Yeah, I nearly went the wrong way when my boss asked about my podcast and our podcast, and the word non-duality was on my lips, and I could swallow it just in time and blurt out philosophy, and then it was all okay.
Yeah.
But I think, let's not go there, because either people are completely disinterested or they even get mad. So I avoid the subject most of the time.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's another sentence I wrote down a couple of days ago. Separation is heaven appearing as if it isn't.
Is having appeared, yeah. Yeah.
Heaven, I said, like hell and heaven.
Yeah, heaven.
Yeah, heaven.
Yeah. It's heaven appearing as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say
totally.
Separation is hell? The sense of separation?
Yeah, but it's not a hell that where there's
not with
someone
flames and stuff, but
aware, someone being aware necessarily of the torture of separation. There's a disquiet, a dis-ease, an uncomfortableness, which is just taken for granted as the experience of being alive by the individual. It seems so fundamental to the experience that there's most of the time, for most people, there's no questioning that that's just the way it is.
Sorry, I have to laugh because I just remembered a couple of people saying, and now it just dawned on me. I talked with them about this, and they said, "Well, I do not have a sense of separation," and I was like,
"Yeah,
you just." This is it.
Yeah,
but
totally.
No, I don't have that. No.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and really, the individual doesn't. When we talk about separation and the sense of dis-ease and the need and the drive, to become, that's really not something the individual can recognize, because it's so ubiquitous, it's so ingrained in the experience of separation itself. There's no way really to objectify that sense of need that the individual engenders.
Yeah, well, I have had since I was little, like 5 or 6, the sense that this isn't it, in the sense that I knew something about my perception of reality just wasn't right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I know, it's the sense of separation in itself that feels off. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
All right. I have some questions from our listeners.
Okay.
One is, what is unconditional love? Because I was speaking to someone and he said, well, I'm trying to practice loving unconditionally. And yeah,
That's very sweet, isn't it?
yeah, I had to swallow my laugh because I knew he wouldn't have liked that. But yeah, what can you say about unconditional love? Because it's a really
well, the best description. Yeah, first off, you can't really say because it's everything. But what might be unexpected for the individual is unconditional love is loving what you don't like.
Yeah, but that's a problem because if I don't like, I don't know, some guy, then I have to practice liking him, but then I negate my own disliking him. You know, it's all, you can't work that out in your mind.
I'm talking. Yeah, no. Yeah, this isn't, unconditional love can't be a practice because there isn't any separation to it. You can only practice what's separate.
Yeah.
You can only know what's separate. So if there isn't any separation, there's no way to practice it.
But actually, unconditional love for the sense of separation is quite terrifying because there are no rules.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It seems that people that aren't interested in or get angry or fearful of the message, it really is a fear of unconditional love. It really is a fear of what's most longed for.
Yeah, that's so paradoxical.
Yeah, in a sense it is. But it makes sense in the way that it's the end of the individual. The individual lives in patterns, in control, well, the dream of control, in the sense of knowing, in the sense of being secure, finding security, and unconditional love doesn't recognize any of that.
No, it's actually no rules, so also no control.
No.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, for the individual. But it's just a dream in the first place that there is someone in control. Just the dream of being in control doesn't put anybody in control. There isn't enough time for there to be an individual and control.
No, that presupposes a past and a future. So
a real past and a future. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And a real now to move from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck. Yeah. All right. Some question which you probably answered a couple of times. So what about the Nazis? Is that also unconditional love?
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. Morals and societal rules are just another way for the individual to feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Nazis are like oneness appearing as a bunch of dipshits.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, being a dipshit isn't just regulated, right? Just left to the Nazis. There's dipshits all over the place.
Yeah, sure.
I can be a dipshit.
Sometimes, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another question. This is a cool one. What are the advantages and disadvantages of concerning yourself with non-duality? Oh, good luck, Jim.
Well, the advantage for the individual is really there isn't one. I do get responses in the meetings. There's this in the beginning, it's obviously, first off, there's no individual recognized as real. There's a concession that there's an experience that happens that says it's an individual. That seems to happen. And hearing, the way this expresses it does sometimes, actually quite often, it leads to a sense of relaxation, sort of an ease, just a sort of an unraveling of that sense of separation, which makes it feel more comfortable. Now, the funny thing about that is it's not something the individual would want, because that entails a certain amount of loss.
Yeah.
And it happens without the individual's intention. It's funny, sometimes the reports are just things stopped happening, certain patterns stopped running. But all of that is really fairly superficial to what we're talking about. So in that way, there's no benefit for the individual, not in the way that it would want one. It's totally set on gaining things, adding to itself out of the sense of lack that arises with that sense of separation. All it really wants is to get more. Yeah. And that can be either more knowledge or experience. So it would never want loss, which is basically the whole message, loss. In the end, there is no loss because there isn't anything owned. So that could be a benefit, I guess.
And the disadvantages?
The disadvantages, well, the sense of separation, if there isn't an openness to something else, the disadvantages are really minor because people just stop listening, which I think is beautiful about the message. In the way that it doesn't offer anything, it doesn't even acknowledge the individual. If there isn't an openness to something else, then there's just no interest. It's ridiculed or rejected or just ignored, which I think is awesome.
Why do you think that's awesome?
Well, there's something very misleading in offering someone a path to what's truly longed for, because of course what's truly longed for is already. And so offering a path to that is misleading in that I've already said, it confirms the experience as being real and separation as being real, neither of which is true. And that can, there isn't any time, but it might appear as years of effort of trying to become what is already. And this doesn't do that.
No.
This doesn't have that on offer.
But isn't like any well, if you have like a commercial or any business proposition that always offers something, isn't it always appealing to the seeker in some way?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. This isn't, not really, not if it's heard as it's being expressed. It's not appealing, not in that way.
No, and also all those paths kind of, well, I start to lose interest in them because I know I'm never ever going to find it. So I still do stuff, but it's not like doing stuff in the hopes of finding it, which was the meaning of my life for a long time, trying to find it. Yeah.
Welcome to the club. As long as there's a sense of separation, they're just seeking. Seeking and separation are one and the same.
Yeah.
It's an energetic, you could talk about it as though an energy in the body of grasping, an energy of just looking for something. It's undifferentiated in its sense of seeking, in that it looks at absolutely everything all the time for something more for itself. It's exhausting.
Yeah, it's exhausting. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, here that sort of the seeking energy is diminishing, I guess, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But now I feel how exhausting it was, because now the energy like is freed, or I don't know how to say it, but
totally.
It was like mind blowing how much energy I've put into seeking. It was like madness. Yeah.
Yeah. Hope is a real motivator. Hope can get a lot of energy going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is also one. Why talk about non-duality? Why not invest energy in doing stuff?
Yeah, why not?
All right, thanks, Jim. Well, let's consider that one answered. Well, I have one, one left. What? Sorry. What is the difference between non-duality and non-dualism?
Oh, I think same thing, right? It's just one's an adverb and one is a noun. Non-duality is a noun, and non-dualism is a different,
But it's an
type of
ism sounds like
vocabulary.
something you can apply or like follow.
Oh, right.
Right?
Oh, okay. Well, neither one. I mean, non-duality is actually a negation. It's saying not to, so it's not actually saying anything.
No.
It's just saying this is not to.
Okay. Yeah. I've run out of questions. So, is there anything you would like to add, like on the subject, or
No.
no?
This really doesn't have anything to say about it. It's like the introductions. There has to be kind of an assumed question.
Yeah.
Or there wouldn't be any sort of response. Like I said, this can't know anything about what we're talking about. It can't be reflected on because it's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interviews tend to be short then, or
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Yeah, it's so simple. I think for me, it can be frustratingly simple.
Ungraspable, ungettable. Yeah.
Well, and in some ways, it's undeniable.
True.
It's like when people say, yeah, it's all true, but it's for initial sense, it's undeniable. It's obvious. I've never heard a criticism of this message from someone that actually understood it.
How is that possible? How can you? I mean, how can you criticize not to-ness?
No, I mean, as far as the concepts and all of that go, all criticisms come from some misunderstanding. The message doesn't fit to the expectations of the individual. The individual, it turns everything kind of on its head. The individual's experiences of a real separate reality through which it navigates what it experiences as its life. And the message doesn't acknowledge that at all. There isn't an individual, there isn't anyone with a life, and there isn't anyone navigating. And the whole idea that that's necessary comes out of an illusion that what isn't already whole and complete.
You can't argument against or for non-duality. I mean, that's absurd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I disagree with non-duality. Yeah, that's
yeah. Well, saying you agree is the same absurdity, really. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, one last question. What did you do before speaking on non-duality? Were you like an accountant or a lieutenant in a drug cartel, or what did you do?
Yeah.
Both.
The drug cartel. Both. Yeah. I was an accountant
you have that vibe
as a
around
lieutenant
you,
in a drug cartel.
No, but seriously, what did you do? Just curious.
Well, last thing I was doing is I had a business. I just ran a business.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you met Tony and everything changed.
That's right. In a sense, yeah. It had already changed quite a long time before. So there was already a deep insight into this. And hearing Tony confirmed that. So the message can't cause the end of seeking. It begins for no reason, and it apparently ends for no reason, never having happened.
Yeah.
But the message seems to me as kind of an excuse / permission for something that's already true.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we're out of questions then.
All right.
If people would like to know more about you, I guess your website is a good start.
Yeah, that's a good start.
It's
Yeah.
simply-this.com, correct?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And you also have a YouTube channel, but people can just type in Jim Newman non-duality and it will pop up. So
that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, same here. Thanks.
Thanks a lot for answering all the questions. And well, maybe till next time.
Okay, great.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This was Jim Newman, and we hope you have enjoyed it. And until next time, bye-bye.